to get race number 5 of this meeting underway. Adam Brown and Steve Reynolds on the front round. Away we go, roaring away. That's a storming start from Rod Phillips in the 176 car from the third row, and he's into second before they've even gotten through turn 1. Very nicely done. Adam Brown has capitalised on that. Steve Reynolds has just about managed to hang on to that second position. Then you've got the Saxo, the lucky little car in the hand of Mark Alexander Williams, doing a great job there. There's the Stowe Potter car, Simon Stowe starting that one, the number 50 car. Coming through Church now, heading towards the back straight. Adam Brown is trying to check out as best he can. There's one of our Civics, the number 420 car, doing what they can. That's Kev Smith in hard charger. That one's 3 wide coming down towards the braking zone for turn 7. And wow, that's Richard Bethel in the now black car. There was blue before that. There's Mick Dwayne in his new his Clio 182. Along with the Toyota Corolla. So was a few less names in this field. It's still fairly mixed, but still fabulous racing from our 2-litre tin tops.
Yeah, always good to see the tin tops. Adam Brown propels himself down through the corkscrew for the first time already, with a bit of gap between himself and Stephen Reynolds. Off has gone the Alpha 33, I'm afraid to say, which is Steve Fletcher that started that car. So there's waved yellow flags up at the top section of the circuit whilst that Alpha is stricken on the grass. But in fact, it's got going again, so it was a harmless spin. The Brunswick prepared Alpha is back on track. So Adam Brown already at the end of the first lap leads by 2.6 seconds. However, I did spot a smoky Richard Bethel there. Now, is that tyre rub on the Clio, or is that a little bit of smoke coming from the back of it? It's just going through the banking at the moment. No obvious signs of smoke as he heads up towards Church, but there was definitely some sort of smoke. Maybe it was just a lock tyre briefly as he headed onto the brakes at the banking, perhaps, the black Clio.
Could well be. I mean, he was making a great move to try and claim that first spot. We did claim the first spot. Oh, someone's kicking up a fair amount of dust. I think that was the Saxo that was kicking up some dust on the exit of Church there, as we are on stream looking at the 176 car. As Rod Phillips fending off the advances of Kev Smith in the 420 Civic, and then the not quite as strong starting Saxo qualified in 4th, down into 6th. Oh, some more dust being kicked up there. The Saxo having a look on the inside line of Kev Smith. Can he get it done? Not on this occasion. There's Mick Dwayne right behind them. Mick Dwayne was one of the first people I interviewed actually when I joined the CSCC, and in his lovely Brummie accent, that was at Castle Cove in Wiltshire, he was saying, "I'm here to make fun of myself," was essentially what he said. And new car for him this time around. We haven't seen him for a little while. As a result of that, he's starting as he means to go on. Really well placed for Mick Dwayne in the 777 car.
So a couple of laps now completed. Just going to try and keep an eye on that black Clio if I can, just to see if there's smoke. I noticed he did lock brakes heading up into Rocket, so I think it's a brake bias issue maybe on the Clio that's just affecting Richard Bethel's car. The rest of the field all filing their way into and out of the banking, including car number 23, which is Tom Mensley. But towards the front, we've got some great battles going on, not least of which is Liam Place at the wheel of the Toyota Corolla. Fairly unique car. You don't see many of those race in the UK. He's busy having a fight, as are the 2 Civics ahead, who are again nose to tail heading in towards a braking area for Rocket. It is still just Rob Phillips that hangs on to 4th position. Under attack is Kev Smith from the little light blue Saxo that sits behind, which is Mark Alexander Williams. So this is 4th, 5th and 6th all together heading up towards Rocket, and this time can Mark Alexander Williams thread the little Saxo through and ahead of the number 420 Honda? Yes, he can. So place gained for Mark Alexander Williams, place lost for 420, the Honda Civic of Kev Smith, who started 3rd on the grid, Chris. He's now going to be down to 6th.
Yeah, it's not started too well for Kev Smith, but he saw that the Saxo was alongside and wasn't prepared to try and shut a door with the car in it. He knows better than that, but he's got a fair amount of grunt in the Civic Type R to try and displace the Saxo again as they come through turn 1 and 2. The Civic is still staying fairly close to the Saxo. This is where the Saxo will be slightly disadvantaged. Now, whilst the car engines are up to 2 litre, the Saxo is a little bit smaller than that. The Saxo is in class F, which is 1401cc to 1600cc 8-valve, or up to 1400cc multi-valve. So it is a bit of a smaller engine, but that's not stopping Mark Alexander Williams really putting that car very, very well placed. The Civic then comes through, as you would expect, coming down towards turn 7. And then we'll see, I would imagine the Saxo start to reel him back in again as we come back up towards the corkscrew.
Yeah, so as they head back towards the corkscrew in a few moments' time, we'll see whether that gap could close up between the pair of them all of the time whilst Adam Brown is out front and leading the race at this stage. He has also posted the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 19.456. Remember, he's got to remain stationary for an extra 20 seconds though. We are only 5 minutes away from the pit window opening, and he's only opened up a 3.6 second gap, so it's not sufficient to overcome the deficit in the pit window. It's up to about 4 seconds at the end of that lap, 3.920. So Adam Brown's got to keep pushing. He might also have a little bit of traffic as well that he might catch before he comes into the pits, because in the next 5 minutes' time, the first of those cars that they would catch is going to be the lovely little Honda Civic EG in the hands of Holly Brown. That's the light blue car, but she's probably 30 seconds up the road, so it's going to be at least another 3, 4, maybe 5 laps before he catches her.
Mick Twain is fending off the advantages of the Toyota Corolla T-Sport. Liam Place is the one piloting the Toyota. He dispatched of the 119 car, Dominic Rose, in charge of that particular 172. Here we go again, the Civic in the hands, the 420 car. Kev Smith still keeping the Saxo at bay as they come through turn 7, the rocket in turn now. Again, this is where the advantage switches back towards the Saxo. Is he going to try and dive on the inside line of turn 9? No, he's staying behind. So, well, he went for, I wouldn't say he went for the move, but he certainly went for the line quite late, close, very close to the Civic. No, he's not thinking about a move. It's not a heavy braking zone, even for these cars coming into the first part of the corkscrew. By the time you've really slowed down to the slower speeds, you're already committed to being behind the car you're chasing. Was that a good exit from the final turn for Mark Alexander Williams? Can't quite pull alongside before they get into turn 1. And you got Mick Twain and Liam Place behind. Struth alive. The Saxo doing everything he can to reduce the deficit that he's going to experience along that back straight. And again, can't do anything against Kev Smith at the moment, coming out of the banking towards Church. Now the Civic is going to just use that little bit more power it's got to rebuild that gap, but Mark Alexander Williams doing a great job in the Saxo to stay with the Honda Civic Type R. Yeah,
he's like one of those annoying wasps in the summer, isn't he, Mark Alexander Williams? He's just not going away as far as Kev Smith is concerned. He sort of swatted him away for a period of time, but you just know that light, nimble, but slightly lesser powered Citroen Saxo through this part of the circuit, as they're up at Rocket and heading in towards Peel and down through the corkscrew, all of a sudden what was a 4 and 5 car length has disappeared down to not a great deal at all. We've also got, by the look of things, a change for third place, because the black Renault Clio, number 318, Richard Bethel, has just been overtaken by Rob Phillips at the wheel of the Honda, but Richard Bethel throws it back up the inside, coming into the corkscrew, and says, no thank you, I'm on third place, and managed to squeeze the Clio back through and ahead of the Honda. So those are the two cars just coming out of the final corner. Now, Richard Bethel under attack.
Wow, Struth alive. These two are having a great old scrap. As you say, man, that is for third. The more they argue, the more that's going to allow the Smith, Clothier and Alexander Williams cars to close in on them. There's about 5.3 seconds between those two cars at the moment. But Richard Bethel is a plasterer by trade. Was run a little bit wide there, coming out of the banking, turn number 3. That could well give a bit of an advantage to Rod Phillips in the Civic, chasing on. Both of them 2-litre cars. Bethel in Class B, which is specifically for 2-litre Renault Clios, or up to 2 litres, I should say. And Rod Phillips in Class A, which is any car up to between 1850 and 2-litre multi-valve and all turbo diesels. I don't recall ever actually seeing a turbo diesel, certainly not in the last few years.
We used to have a few Peugeot 306D turbos back in the day, of which Hugo Holder, I think, one of the members of the CSCC, raced one of those. Side by side again, Rob Phillips trying to squeeze his way back through and past the car of Richard Bethel. Through goes the Honda. So that is now Ford that leads. It's Renault second. It's now Honda's third and fourth place. Richard Bethel dropping down into further down through the order and is off the podium spots again at the moment. This is a fantastic battle between these two. We are now only, about 40 seconds away from the pit window opening.
Yep, so Mark Worrell repositioning himself again as the Saxo's all over the place. On that final turn, just doing everything he can to try and do something against the Kev Smith ahead of him, and Kev Smith had a bad run coming out of turn 2 along with Mick Twain and Liam Place. having their own argument for 7th place, right behind them now. So the gap between the two squabbles is down to 2 seconds, and the Saxos alongside the Civic going into Church turn 4, but again the Saxos should potentially lose out. Well, should lose out. No one's told Mark Alexander Williams that. Still side by side, going down through School, and finally the Civic is able to wrestle that position back, but had to use everything he could to get back up into that 5th place, and they are being caught pretty quickly by Mick Dwayne. Oh, his impact between the Saxo and the Civic. Mark Alexander Williams absolutely threw the Civic on the inside line of turn 7. It's a bit of a touch there, but I wouldn't imagine that's done too much damage. If that's not the steering out of whack, then Kev Smith, well, certainly when he hands that over to Paul Clodier, may struggle a little bit. We will see. But Mick Dwayne is now right with them. Liam Place has been dragged along as well in the Toyota. Struth alive. Let's see that again. So there's the Saxo that is chasing the 420 car. So Kev Smith doesn't get a good line into that particular turn, and then just turns in a little bit too much, so that might have knocked the steering a little bit out of whack. We will see. But that was a big move from Mark Alexander Williams, and Mick Dwayne is now on the back of Kev Smith. So now the Clio 182 has caught the back of the Civic with the Toyota Corolla in tow, and wow, where's the Civic gone? The Saxo, beg your pardon. Where has the Saxo gone? Or has he come into the pits? He's come into the pits. That's where he's disappeared to. So there is Holly Brown in the other Civic, in the non-Type R number 78 car. I think the Saxo's come into the pits, but if it has, I can't see it. So has there been trouble? Has Mark Alexander Williams overcooked it? We'll see. If that has come into the pits, then it's either directly underneath my commentary position, I can't see it, or we'll catch up with it a little bit later on. Oh, Mick Dwayne on the inside line of Kev. I wonder if there is damage to that car, because he really seems to be slowing down a bit as Liam Place locks up coming into turn 9. And that Civic does not look very happy, so there may well have been damage as a result of the impact between themselves and the 77 Saxo. Is anybody else going to come into the pits this time? No, so Kev Smith isn't. He's dealing with it rather than oh, there's the Saxo sideways going into the first turn. Okay, you can't decide whether he's actually coming into the pits or not. I think he actually ended up spinning himself into the pits there. It took a very odd line, but either way, I think he's ended up in the pit lane. Whether he intended to or not remains to be seen. But he's ended up in the pits now, so he must have had a particular spin, but he's, considering how squiggly he's got, then that is an indication that tyres are being quite hot in that car. Or is there further trouble as a result of the impact? They're having a good old look at the tail end of the car, just where that impact would have been. And with the tail getting very, very light, that would indicate there's potential damage to the car. You can see the scuff marks on the back. Oh my goodness, a dented wheel rim. Yeah, that's probably going to be a puncture at very least. That is going to spell the end of the race for the Citroën Saxo. What a great change, because that was going great guns. But that would explain why the tail was so wild if they have got a puncture on that rear right side. There's the 420 car. It's 420 car. Kev Smith still in charge of that one. Going to hand that one over to Paul Clodier. Nope, not yet he isn't. He's going to go and complete another lap. So there's Mick Dwayne just going through the shot. The rest of the field now starting to settle into a bit of a rhythm. Oh, Mick Dwayne! Oh, huge amount of smoke pouring out of the back of the new car. He's pulled that one off. Something's gone bang in a very, very big way. That's another car that's going to need recovering. Oh my goodness, he's pulled that off at a gap in the barrier, so marshals don't have far to recover that car. Huge amount of smoke, and a great, great shame for Michael Dwayne. Thumbs up. Well, I'm glad you're all right, Mick. That's good to see, but I think your car might need a bit of work. Number 10 car, that's Richard Fowle, relative newcomer to the series. It's the Clio 172, kind of bumblebee flavoured. See if Mark's able to catch up with a few people. Be fairly soon. Just looking at the timing, looks like Tom Mensley in the 23 car in 9th place is getting quite close to the 119. That was started by Dominic Rose. Paul Masters will take that one over. So we could have a potential battle forming for 8th place at this stage as we continue to watch the number 10. So newcomer to the series, you can see the novice cross on the back of the car. A few people wear that. So again, as a reminder, that is just to indicate they haven't had 6 signatures or haven't completed 6 races yet. So it's an indication to those that are coming up behind them that they're a bit less experienced. Again, so that they can, so those that are coming up behind them can pass them in the right way. There's Adam Brown still leading the way. He's yet to come into the pit lane. He's been increasing his fastest lap by, wow, a huge margin. Oh, that's one of the Odell Motorsport Fiestas that's gone for a bit of a wander. They've got several cars here where they has carried on. That was coming towards Church, I think. Oh, that's getting very, very close. That's the 21 car. So that's Chris Herwood from Bedfordshire. It's gone for a bit of a wander. He's just been passed by Tom Mensley's car. I actually think that's Paul Anderton's car that Tom Mensley is in. Just to add a bit of confusion. There's another one of the Odell cars, the number 41. That's Michael Peters in charge of one of the Ford Fiestas. They have a handful of cars. They also deal with Paul Bolton's Nissan 370Z that we've already seen. That one comes out in Modern Classics, I believe it is. So well into the pit stop phase now. As we see again, Kev Smith having a look on the inside line, coming towards turn 1. Can't quite get it done yet. That's, I think that's Tom Mensley he's having an argument with. A few more pit stops being served. Not many left to go now. Kev Smith is one of them that hasn't come in according to my listing. There's Holly Brown. Well, Holly Brown started that car. That'll be Paul Turner now in command of the Honda Civic, the number 78 car. That one has definitely been in. And Mark Werrell has found someone to have a chat to in the pit lane.
Yeah, the driver I've caught up with is Stephen Reynolds, who's just put in a great stint at the wheel of the Renault Clio. Looked hard work out there.
It is hard work. There's no grip and cars sliding around everywhere. We normally run with ABS as well, which I haven't got today, so it's kind of catching me out a little bit. It normally sorts out issues for me, and it's not happening. But you know what? I'm pleased to be hanging on to the Fiesta of Adam Brown. That's the whole idea. He's got a penalty to serve. We're just going to try and hang on to his coattails and see if we can somehow pip him in the pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, the gap between the pair of you before you pitted was about 4 seconds. So, you know, that's still a lot of work for Adam to do to try and hang on to the whim.
Exactly, yeah, and it's all over to my partner, John Ridgen, now, because all the pressure's on him. I've done my bit.
You were also saying 6'4", trying to cram into a Clio, not the easiest thing.
Not the easiest thing, and John's only 5'8". So there's a lot of seat sliding going on. So like, yeah, I'm not made for motor racing. I should be doing rugby or something.
Well, thanks for keeping us entertained. Well done, great stint.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
There you go. We'll go back upstairs to Chris.
Thank you, Mark. Back on to the racing action then. As we see, there's the number 21. That's Chris Herbert. After a bit of a scary moment earlier on, he's carrying on his merry way in the Odell Motorsport Fiesta. Where does he find himself? Car number 21 is going in 13th place. A few seconds behind the next of the Odell Fiestas. That's Michael Peters in the number 41 car. They're coming through the shot. That's the Reynolds and Ridgen car. Started in second. Now John Ridgen's got that one. Everybody has served their pit stop except for the now stationary Mick Dwayne in the 777, very much detonated car. Last car just going through the pit lane, I can see, is the Clothier and Smith car. So now Paul Clothier's got that one. Continue to watch number 21. Making his way through, trying to, as they gain on Michael Peters. There is the 155. Now that's the Spencer Anderton car. That's Paul Anderton that now has that. And John Baker in the Satsuma Racing. Oh, big lockup there though. that was coming down towards the corkscrew. He had that particular moment. You don't normally build up a lot of pace down there in between Peel and corkscrew. Oh, look at the defensive line from Paul Anderton there. It's true, that got lively. And then you've got the Toyota Corolla right behind, so that's now Lee Norton that's got that. So Lee Norton's looking to put a lap on them, so he'll want to get through that without without too much bother. And Mark Worrell has found another driver to have a chat to.
Time to catch up with another driver down in the pit lane. It's Kev Smith this time, who started the number 420 Honda Civic on the front row of the grid. Started on the front row of the grid, but got picked off by a few in the early part of your stint.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always struggle with the starts because obviously the first gear is quite high in the car, but I thought I'll let a couple of them go and then start to try and pick them off as I started to get round the back. And it was going really, really great. I had a great race with a blue Citroen. I think him and I were having a great tussle. We had a little bit of a coming together. And unfortunately he span over there, so I managed to get down and carry on with the rest of the track. And then I think another Clio let go right in front of me, dumped all over the circuit, so that was a bit hairy. It was just a massive cloud of blue smoke, so it was good fun.
The Civic came in with a puncture in the end, so they lost a bit of time in the pits, I assume, following the damage. For you, though, you've now handed over the car to Paul Clothier. We know he's a quick racer.
Yeah, that's right. So Paul and I raced together in the Turbo Tin Tops as well. So yeah, Paul and I share the Civic, which I've spent a bit of money on this year getting it rebuilt. So we're really, really close together as well. We're sort of in the hundredths, so there's a good, fair competition, and the banter in the pub afterwards is always good fun.
Well, enjoy the race and fingers crossed for a decent result.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
There we go. That's the last of our drivers for the Co-ordSport Tin Top. So we'll hand you back upstairs to Chris Buxton in the commentary box.
Thank you, Mark. And the battle between Paul Anderton and John Baker continues apace. You see the number 18 car chasing the 155, so that's for 13th position at the moment. Very, very little between them. As you would imagine, the top three aren't that far apart either. Looking at the board, it's actually the 176 car, Rod Phillips, leading the way in his Civic. And there, you've just seen the 119. Now that will be Paul Masters that's getting close to that particular battle. There's the Toyota Corolla. Not many of them in the wild. Lee Norton now in charge of development. The 77 Saxo's out again. Good to see that they poked and prodded it and probably hit it with a hammer. Probably spawned at it a few times. It doesn't look like it's got quite as much pace as it did before, but if it was a puncture, then they obviously just changed the wheel. They would have lost a fair amount of time. I mean, they are 3 laps behind the leaders now, which is obviously a big, big shame for them, and they're very much trying to get out of the way of the Stowe and Potter car. So that's Justin Potter that is in charge of the number 50 car. As the Saxo nearly goes for a bit of a wander again on the exit of turn 3. And there is the 119, that's Paul Masters. He's got ahead of John Baker. And they're not on the same lap, so they're not in the same fight. But that is the car that John Baker is looking at, which is the 155 car. Thomas Spencer started that one, Paul Anderton. Oh no, trouble for the Corolla. Now has he gone bang? That's a lot of smoke. Yep, he's pulled that one off. Another engine detonation. I mean, it is fairly warm here in Anglesey, but that's another smoky engine. That's over at turns, that's between turns 7 and 8. And the Toyota Corolla, Lee Norton has pulled that one off to a standstill. Oh no, another one that went to the checkered flag. Great shame there. And he's pulled that one off to safety. And now Adam Brown, having served his pit stop penalties, right on the tail, I can see on the timing tower, between himself and John Ridgett. So we have a real battle for second. And much further up the road, the 176 car, Rod Phillips, in that new Civic, leads the way by about 4 seconds with less than 6 minutes to go now. As the Odell pair are still having an argument, the 21 and 41 cars. So Michael Peters still holding that particular crown. That's 10th place that Tim and Chris Herbert are having an argument for. There is Adam Brown, just coming past Paul Turner in the Civic. So Adam Brown needs to really close in. There he is in the 56 car. trying to work his way through. I beg your pardon, that wasn't Adam Brown that was coming past the Honda. There's Adam Brown. He's now coming down through the corkscrew into the final turn. That is the car he's chasing. So that is John Ridgen in the 113 car. Wow, the Clio 102 getting very, very squiggly. Under pressure now from the Fiesta. So Class A, we have A, B and C in our classes leading the top of the tower. So Rod Phillips in lead of the race of Class A, which is up to 2-litre multi-valve and all-turbo diesel cars. Leading Class B is the Reynolds and Ridgen car. John Ridgen currently leading the way, thus the Clio class. And leading the Astras is our pole sitter, Adam Brown. Now that car you just saw at the top of the shot there, for those watching the stream, he's in our race leader. In fact, no, yes it was, beg your pardon, no, it was the 176 car. So now, big lockup for John Ridgen coming into turn 7. Really feeling the pressure from Adam Brown. That's to compromise his line through turn 8. And Adam Brown's capitalised on that. I wonder whether John Ridgen either just let him go or, it looked like John Ridgen's decided, no, don't fancy that, and has just let the Fiesta through. I mean, in fairness, Adam Brown was nearly 2 seconds, as Mark Royal was saying earlier, nearly 2 seconds quicker than the Reynolds Ridgen car during qualifying. So you realistically know who you're in a battle with. There is the race leader just going through the shot, just going through turn 1. And then Adam Brown is very much hot on his heels. Only 2.8 seconds separating the two. So Rod Phillips is going to have a lot of work to do in his Civic to keep charging Adam Brown at bay. Adam Brown still with the fastest lap, the only man into the 2:18s. It's true, he's got the fastest lap by 1.6 seconds over, I believe, is Rod Phillips. Yes, it is. So Adam Brown absolutely flying in the Fiesta. There's the Saxo just coming into shot with, I think that's the number 50 car right on its tail. You can see the cloud cover really has come in here at Anglesey. There's the 55 car, that's the Alpha 33, the Fletchers. That'll be James Fletcher that currently has that one, just getting past John Baker. That was indeed 4th position. That was 13th race. So John Baker maybe struggling a little bit in the closing stages of this race. There's Paul Anderton in the 155 car, now with the 55 car right with him. So Anderton should be on a different lap, actually. Yes, he is. So he won't worry too much about them coming up behind him. 155. No, excuse me. I thought he wasn't different. I mean, he isn't. So that's actually a battle for 12th between those 3 cars. Clio leads Alpha, leads Clio in the closing stages of the race for 12th position. John Baker falling a little bit off the back of that particular battle, and now it's going to be up to Paul Anderson to start to push on a bit to try and keep the Fletcher Alfa Romeo behind him. And the Alfa was about 1.3 seconds quicker last time around. It was going to be a difficult battle for him to do. Oh no, Paul Anderson's gone wide. That's up at turn 9. That's up at Peel. Pushed too hard to try and keep the Alfa Romeo behind. But it did look like he was struggling to get the car to turn in properly. So John Baker's gone through as well. And alas, 2 positions lost in the closing stages of the race for Paul Anderson. He's going to press on nonetheless. There goes the Alpha. There goes John Baker coming into turn 1. They will continue their particular battle, but John Baker will not quite have the pace of the Alpha ahead to challenge for 12th, what is now 12th place. You can see the gap that's formed between the 2 cars. So it does look like that position in the hands now, or firmly in the hands of the Alfa Romeo. Less than a second between our top 2 with less than a minute to go. So we have a very much affirmed battle for the lead. There is our race leader, Rod Phillips, in the Civic. There is his pursuer, not the green Honda Civic, it's the Ford Fiesta. So Adam Brown, that's not 9/10 between him, it was when they came over the line, but Adam Brown has pressed on with great vigour to close in on them. That's Paul Clothier that's just going through the shot. There they are. There is the race leaders. It's going to come down to the flag. They will be waiting for whichever one of them gets there first. Adam Brown going for a wider line. As you see, Rod Phillips taking that defensive line, going full tripod mode, coming into turn 7, now into 8. Who is going to be brave on the brakes in these last few corners? Is going to be a big banzai move from Adam Brown to try and overhaul Rod Phillips. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it, but we'll see, unless Rod Phillips makes a mistake coming down into the corkscrew. That's Paul Clothier. That's going to be very popular very quickly in a minute. Final turn. That's going to go the way of the Honda, it looks like. And there we go, your winner for race number 5 here in Anglesey is the 176 car. It's Rod Phillips in the Civic. Second by just 0.6 of a second is Adam Brown in the Fiesta. Third is going to be Steve Reynolds and John Ridgen in the Renault Clio. I mean, bearing in mind that Adam Brown had that success penalty to serve, he just lost the lead by 0.6 of a second in the end. Or lost the win, I should say, at the very end. Very nicely done. Richard Bethel in the 318 car is going to come home in 4th place. Great effort there for the 318 car. He started 6th and he's going to come home in 4th. And then in 5th position is going to be the 119 as Dominic Rose and Paul Masters will bring that home in 5th place. Tom Mensley will round out those on the lead lap in the 23 car. Then the Smith Closier 420 Honda Civic in 7th with Rob Fowl in 8th place. Sorry, Richard Fowl in the Clio. Then it was the 2 Odell cars squabbling for 9th. It was Michael Peters, the one out on that one, in the 41 car with Chris Herbert in the 21 car right behind. There he is, your race winner on stream now, 176 Honda Civic. Yeah, you deserve to be happy about that one. You had to work hard for that. In fairness, the Reynolds and Ridgen car was only 7 seconds behind in the end. Adam Brown couldn't quite overhaul it. So there we go. There's the race results being posted on stream before any steward's intervention. Winning Class A, and of course the race overall, is Rob Phillips. Winning Class C, the Ford Fiesta class, is Adam Brown in 2nd. Winning Class B, the Renault Clio category, is Steve Reynolds and John Ridgen. Then Richard Bethel in 4th, Rose Masters 5th, Mensley 6th, Smith Clothier 7th, Fowl 8th, Peters 9, and Herwood in 10th position. Then further down in 11th is Justin Prosser and Simon Stope in the number 50 car. And 12th is the Alfa Romeo. A bit of a late charge, got them up into 12th place. 13th, John Baker in the Clio. 14th is the number 57 car, the Ford Fiesta of Smith. 15th is the Spencer Anderton Renault Clio. 16th is the Brown Turner Honda Civic. Of course, the non-Type R. And the returning number 77, Alexander Williams Saxo. Those that didn't see the flag were the Playson Norton Toyota Corolla and Mick Dwayne in his Renault Clio 182. Great racing all again. Just one more of the day, and then we get to do it all over again tomorrow. And with the addition of our Magnificent Sevens, our Caterham base class will be with us tomorrow for 2 races. We will start much earlier in the day. We start at 10 o'clock in the morning. We look forward to that when we get there. As the field work their way back towards the holding area, and our stranded cars gets recovered from almost opposite corners of the track. Mick Dwayne's car just been recovered. There it is. Oh, stream, great shame. It was going so well, and alas, the engine had other ideas. Yeah, a few drivers have commented on how slippery the circuit has become as we see the quick dry substance going down. Just make sure that all liquids are absorbed to make the track as safe as possible. A fair amount of it that's coming through school. That's turn 6 where that particular spillage has happened. Again, one of the fastest parts off the circuit, but with plenty of space on that inside line, it shouldn't bother the drivers too much. Shouldn't have to deviate too far from that particular line, but if anyone's got a run on someone, that is going to make that overtake a little bit more spicy. Of course, we had the Toyota Corolla, the Place Norton car, detonate his engine up into turn 8. And Mark Werrell has found our podium 3 in the holding area.
Yeah, we're going to start with the second place driver this time around, largely because he was the first to come and join us in the Parc Ferme area. Adam Brown. Adam, you qualified on pole 1.8 seconds quicker than anybody, but we always knew you were going to have to press on because of that time penalty you'd have in the pit lane. You were maybe a lap away from doing it?
Yeah, maybe one more lap we'd have had him. It was very much a look after the front tyres because John was racing out in the turbo tin tops and we saw the condition of his tyres when he came back in. So it was look after the front tyres, look after the car, bearing in mind we've got a race tomorrow and a race next weekend as well. I just misjudged it a bit too much and should have gone a lap faster.
Yeah, what was it, 0.662 at the flag, so close. Was there anything else that you could have thrown into it, or was it flat out as much as you could?
It was flat out towards the end to try and catch. I mean, there was a lot of oil down, so it was sort of experimenting where the oil was and the quickest way around it. But once you figured that out, it was pretty much flat out, avoiding the oil. And sadly, we just came a little bit short at the end.
Hey, but ever looking for positives out of negatives, it does mean that you haven't now picked up a time penalty today, but Rob will for tomorrow.
There is that, yeah. So it's all to play for tomorrow in the race 2 of the weekend and see what we've got after tomorrow.
Let's go and have a chat to the race winner. So we'll just come this way and grab a quick word with Rob Phillips, who is out of the Honda Civic and is looking a very happy, smiley chap. Rob, well done. Congratulations. I gather that's probably your first overall win ever.
It is, yeah. I'm really happy with that. Made up.
And you had to work for it. You know, you knew he was coming, held him off for a couple of laps, and it was 0.6 of a second in the end.
Yeah, I think another lap, he'd have got me. But I held him off and really happy with that.
You only need to lead on one lap. But the problem is with Classic Sports Car Club Racing, it's bittersweet a victory because you've now handed yourself a 30-second penalty in tomorrow's race.
I can live with that. That'll make it more interesting.
Was there anything more that you could have done? Were you driving flat out? Did you know the race was going to come to you?
I didn't realise I was on the last lap. So when I saw the checker flag, I was made up. It was fantastic.
You're buying the beers tonight, I would imagine, for the team.
Absolutely.
Well, well done on the win. Congratulations and good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
There we go. So that is the Co-ordSport's tin tops done and dusted with. So let's hand you back upstairs once more to Chris Buxton. Final race of the day is coming up.